For as long as the console vs. PC debate has been around on the internet at large, there's always been journalism sites looking to ride off the traffic of the topic. Nothing wrong with trying to generate clicks, but whenever a major outlet, or a supposedly major outlet, chimes into the debate with a bunch of stuff that's completely wrong, it rustles my jimmies with immense force. Today's nonsense comes from a site called Device Tests, which claims to be a reputable outlet on technology and computers, and usually articles like this are a few years old by the time I see them, because their arguments are always super outdated and obviously wrong by modern standards, but this one is from December of 2022. So I am not a happy camper today. And before we get into it, I want to let you know that this was sent to me on Twitter, which is a fantastic way for you to get me to respond to something. I don't have a whole lot of time to search the internet for response-worthy garbage, so I really appreciate it when you guys send me submissions, especially when they come with a sweet little personalized message. So if you have stuff you want me to take a look at, throw it to me on Twitter, and if I vomit enough, I will respond to it in a video. Also, this video today is sponsored by nobody, but go look at my music channel anyways. I'm gonna start posting more Curbside Anthem stuff in the next few weeks, and probably start doing those ranking videos again, because people seem to like them. And I might as well plug Curbside Anthem here. It's my band. Hello, hi, it's my band. It's on Spotify and Apple Music. Or you can listen to it for free on the music channel with the link in the description. And that's all I have to plug right now. So let's get into the meat of this video, because this one's rough. So it's called Why Console is Better Than PC, written by Jacob Hicks. Good job, Jacob. This one's going right on the old resume. If you are an avid gamer, you have probably debated with your friends whether or not you should play games on a console or PC. On the other hand, if you're a beginner, you may be wondering which is better between the two. There are several considerations to make when weighing between a console and a PC. Yes, considerations such as how much corporate nonsense do you want in your coffee every day? How much do you like 30 to 60 FPS? Are you eager to pay extra for multiplayer? You know, those kinds of considerations. Quick answer, some considerations include visuals, price, value, longevity, and ease of use, but even with these considerations, a console has several advantages compared to a PC. Some of the benefits of a console include fewer setup processes, no upgrade requirements, and better value for money. If you're wondering which is better between a console and a PC, we prepared this article for you, and it explains why a console has the edge over a PC. So right out of the gate, we're being dishonest about the hardware. You say here that it's an advantage of the console that there are no upgrade requirements, but what you should have said is that there are no upgrade options, because really there aren't. You get one set of fixed hardware, and eventually you have the option to pay full price for a different set of fixed hardware that's slightly better than the last one. You're gonna have a really hard time convincing me that that's a better option than the PC, where I can upgrade any piece of my build at any time for basically any price I'm willing to pay. Okay, overview of console versus PC for online gaming. Before choosing a PC or a console, there are several considerations to make, including price. This should be fun. A gaming PC requires cutting-edge technology like superior graphics, multi-core processors, dual GPU solutions, etc. These capabilities mean that a gaming PC will cost significantly more than the average PC and console. While the price may not be a problem, it is still a huge determining factor when comparing value versus price. I really fucking hate when people do this. Like, all you had to say was, gaming PCs are generally more expensive than consoles. Like, that's literally all you had to say, and I would have moved right along. But you had to act like you knew way more about this than you actually do, and that made you say nonsense like how it's a requirement to have dual GPUs, and a requirement to have superior graphics? What does required superior graphics even mean? Like, superior to what? That's not an actual measurement. You would think writing for an outlet called Device Tests would mean you have some kind of tech knowledge, but I'm guessing you were an inclusion hire. Ooh, that wasn't very PC of me. Don't worry, he's white. I'm allowed to make fun of him. Other than the price, here are some other factors to consider when comparing a console and PC for online gaming. Ease of use, flexibility, setup time and costs, longevity, or variety of games, required skill level. Next, we explain why a console is better than a PC. Yeah, definitely don't explain any of these points. Just bullet point a bunch of phrases and don't explain any of them. Like, genuinely, that probably was a good idea, because you have no clue what you're talking about, and you would fail to explain any of these things, and yet the article insists on continuing. Also, why did you put this here? Next, we explore why console is better than the PC. Like, as if you were transitioning to a new topic, but you're not. You were already talking about that. Is this your first time writing anything? Advantages of console over PC. Ease of use. Unlike gaming PCs, there's no elaborate installation process with consoles. You only need to download a game or insert a disc to start playing within a few minutes. With a PC, you might have to make adjustments like upgrading graphics and checking the hardware components, example PC case. These PC adjustments take time, and they require a technical skill level that's unnecessary with consoles. Generally, it would help if you had a specific skill set and time to use a PC, while using a console is plug and play. You know, fun fact, I actually started scripting my response videos for the most part. I don't know, it's just become easier for me to script these things instead of recording them off the cuff like I used to back in the old days of Joe from Seattle. But for this part, I just go through it piece by piece and riff because holy shit. So we're gonna go through this again. Unlike gaming PCs, there's no elaborate installation process. That's weird because there's definitely long installation processes. It's not elaborate, but also it's not on the PC either. So, what? You say here that you download the game or insert a disc to start playing within a few minutes. When's the last time that was actually true? Like, when's the last time you put a new disc into your console and it only took you a few minutes to get into the game itself? When's the last time a massive download like that only took you a few minutes, unless you have God to your internet? Which, you know, I guess this is a case-by-case thing, but I guess the point I'm making here is how is this any different from the PC? On the console, it's a progress bar. On the PC, it's a progress bar. Wow, look at that. That's crazy. Notice, with the PC, you might have to make adjustments like upgrading graphics. What the fuck does that mean? How do you upgrade graphics? That doesn't make any fucking sense. And checking the hardware components, e.g. PC case. Bro, you don't look in the PC case after you put everything in there. Like, do you think people are just constantly opening and closing the PC case like it's a fucking microwave? Like, you think I have to open the case to download a game and then close it? And then, of course, you close this section by saying the console is plug and play, which is quite literally not true anymore. It was true like a decade ago, maybe. Actually, no, a decade ago was 2013. That's when this whole elaborate installation process, as you called it, that's when that really started kicking off. So no, it wasn't a decade ago. Like a decade and a half ago, I guess they were plug and play. The point I'm getting at here is the console requires you to plug the machine into your monitor, then download or install a game before you can play it. If you consider that to be plug and play, the PC is also plug and play. This argument does not work. And if you knew anything about what you were talking about, you would know this. Okay, moving on. You can buy a cheap gaming console for at least $250, while a mid-level gaming PC costs upwards of $700. Why did you say at least $250? Of course it's at least $250. Yeah, every console is at least $250. Every PC is at least $250. This sentence means nothing, but I'm going to correct it for you so I can go on with my video. What you meant to say here was you can buy a cheap gaming console for around $250 or at most $250. But that's also besides the point, because quick question, what fucking console are you getting for $250 nowadays? An Xbox One? A PS4? In what universe are those consoles still relevant? Like, why would I spend $250 on a gaming machine that's going to be entirely obsolete in a matter of months now? I don't understand why you're insisting on comparing a decade-old console to a modern gaming PC. Like, yeah, no shit the decade-old console is cheaper. There's people selling GameCubes for like $50. That doesn't mean it's relevant to the discussion. Additionally, a console comes with a controller, 1 or 2 games, and other accessories. On the other hand, you'll need to purchase a keyboard, mouse, and other gaming accessories with a gaming PC. What accessories other than a controller and a game would a console come with? In addition to low purchasing costs for consoles, you can split game disc expenses with friends by buying different games and then exchanging them regularly. Also, gaming licenses are non-transferable and locked to a specific account with PCs. You're aware you can share game libraries, right? Or if you really want to get generous, you could just share your Steam password with someone and let them literally play on your account. But this idea that there's no game sharing anywhere on the PC is absurd. There's a dozen ways to do it if you're willing to think for 5 seconds. Also, yeah, congratulations for remembering that you have to buy peripherals and games for your gaming hardware. But how is that any different from a console? Oh yeah, the console's going to be way more expensive and restrictive with those purchases. Sure, you get a controller when you buy the thing and maybe a game or two that you can't choose, hope you like it, but every purchase after that is going to be way more expensive. Games are more expensive on the console. Peripherals are more expensive on the console. And on the console, you have to pay extra to play your own games online. The cost comparison between console and PC is not an argument you want to have because after the initial purchase of the hardware itself, the PC is infinitely cheaper. It always has been, and it always will be. That's just the nature of the platform. Okay, no upgrade requirements. Gaming console manufacturers build consoles with the necessary hardware and software systems, so you can play without worrying about your system becoming obsolete. That's a little awkward because they constantly become obsolete. On the other hand, PCs require frequent system upgrades to match the demands of new games. That's also awkward because consoles have a whole bunch of updates nowadays. Just nothing wrong with updates, it's just weird how it's only a problem on one platform to you. Even when console manufacturers release new consoles, you still have the liberty to decide whether or not to buy a new console. You used the word console 3 times in one sentence. Holy shit, retire. If you choose not to buy a new console, you'll continue playing your favorite games on your old console interrupted. Oh my god, you used the word console 5 times in 2 sentences. Okay, first of all, if I have an Xbox One that I bought back in 2013, I'm probably not having a very good gaming experience by modern standards, am I? Regardless of the fact that new games are coming out on that system, because the system is outdated and I would argue obsolete. So if I want a more modern gaming experience, what do I have to do? That's right. I have to buy a new console, you dolt. And you say here that I can still enjoy my old games on my old hardware? How is that any different from a PC? PCs don't go bad. They don't expire. Hardware doesn't just stop working. You seem to know that for consoles, but not the PC? Like, seriously, how are you writing for a tech website? This makes no sense. You might need to upgrade to support specific games more frequently than a console with a PC. Bro. What if a game runs on an old piece of hardware? I don't have to upgrade to support it. CSGO is going to run on a piece of shit PC and a nice PC. No one is making you do anything. Flexibility. You can easily connect your console to your TV and play games from the comfort of your living room sofa. This is possible because console gaming controllers are easy to use. They don't have too many keys, so you don't fumble or worry about pressing the wrong key. Yes, we wouldn't want you to think too hard about anything that you're doing ever, because if you think about too many things, you might just catch on fire. Unlike consoles, not all PCs are compatible with TVs, and those compatible require multiple setup processes. Fucking what? Additionally, PCs are technically made with a desk setup in mind. Even if your gaming PC is compatible with your TV, you might spend more time looking for a suitable gaming position than playing. The sensible choice is a console if you prioritize comfort and flexibility during game time. You are not qualified to write this at all. If a PC has an HDMI port, which 99% of them do, it can plug into a TV. How are you real? Simpler multiplayer setup. It's harder to host a game night with friends when using a PC than a console. As earlier mentioned, PCs work best on a desk, and the desk setup generally means less space for movement. Additionally, your PC has to have enough ports to host more players. Hosting many players also makes it necessary to have other keyboards and computer mice that might not be available at that specific moment. With consoles, you only need to plug in more consoles to play. Again, with me correcting your own fucking garbage article, you meant to say controllers. With consoles, you only need to plug in more controllers to play. Consoles also have multiple USB slots to accommodate a keyboard when you need to. So the consoles have USB ports to accommodate mouse and keyboard, but no mention of PC having USB ports to accommodate controllers for local multiplayer. That's cool. That's nice. I like this article. Controllers are easier to use than a keyboard and a mouse. Whether a controller is better and easier to use than a keyboard is still debatable by many gaming critics, but the controller wins if you are a beginner. A controller's design lets it sit in your hands comfortably in addition to being wireless. I wholeheartedly disagree here. I don't understand what's so difficult about using a mouse and keyboard if you're a new gamer. I'm willing to bet a whole bunch of you watching this video used to play Flash games on your computer and got into gaming that way. Or maybe you're like me and you got your gaming start with stuff like Zoo Tycoon on the PC, or Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4, also on PC, controlling it with a keyboard. Both input devices are plastic assortments of buttons that you press to complete actions. I genuinely don't see the argument of controllers being easier for new gamers. The learning curve is arguably just the same difficulty on both sides if you're brand new to the hobby. In fact, I'd even argue that mouse and keyboard is easier to get into than a controller because literally everyone has used a computer, while a brand new gamer may not be familiar with whatever controller you give them. At the end of the day, this really doesn't matter. You know, every new piece of hardware and every new hobby or activity is going to have a learning curve of some kind. What actually matters is the enjoyment you get once you surpass the learning curve, and that's ultimately just personal preference. But let me ask you a question. Between the console and PC, Which platform allows you to use whatever input device you want, basically. Like, if you have a PS5, but you don't like the default PS5 controller and you don't want to use mouse and keyboard, what really are your options at that point? Because correct me if I'm wrong, but at that point, I'm thinking you would have to go out and find an expensive-ass replacement controller. Whereas on the PC, you can basically use whatever controller you want from whatever era of controller you want. Custom, first-party, third-party, pretty much anything you want. And that sounds way more convenient to me. Additionally, keyboards have many keys. Slow down, don't think so hard. You have to be an expert or have average gaming skill levels to navigate and play a game without accidentally clicking on the wrong keys. These navigation problems are inconvenient and can also ruin your gaming experience. Additionally, with the console controller, your fingers rest on the gadget's buttons so you can respond efficiently and quickly. Just use a controller on PC if it's really that important to you. But also, if you don't know how to use the controller, again, you're gonna be hitting the wrong keys constantly. And you fucking know it, because we've all been there. Again, with the learning curve thing, this isn't a problem of platform, it's just the nature of having hobbies, you fucking ponce. Summary. Overall, a console has many advantages over a gaming PC, and PC is not capitalized there for some reason. The first is pricing. PCs cost more than consoles and require additional accessories for a more wholesome gaming experience. I don't give a shit if it's wholesome, what the hell does that mean? A console is also more straightforward, offers a better multiplayer setup, and doesn't require regular software upgrades to match a specific game's specs, because apparently there's no regular software upgrades on a console. Thanks for informing me of that definitely real, accurate fact, you fucking doofus. Even though you will eventually need to upgrade your console, it may not be as frequent as a gaming PC demands. Weird, because earlier in the article you said you don't have to upgrade, like at all. Early in the article you said you can keep playing your old console forever if you don't want to upgrade your console, but now you're saying eventually you do have to upgrade the console. So, that's cool. Overall, a console wins for offering a better gaming experience and value for money. And in this entire article about console versus PC, there was not a single mention of graphics, or performance, or game variety, or game marketplaces, or online gaming services. No mention of the price to play online. Holy shit. I don't even know how to wrap this one up, other than reiterating the fact that fucking DeviceTest.com is a trash heap with writers that I wouldn't even call amateurish, because that would be insulting to actual amateurs. I'm gonna keep an eye on this website going forward, because I have a gut feeling I'll get more content out of it, and I also will probably make more ad revenue off my response videos than they do off the articles. Air horn noise, laugh track, fuck you, I'm going home. Toodles.